Howdy mates, good morning. Here's the first video log for today. Alrighty, so we're at Petit Jean State Park based in Morrilton, Arkansas. So we're kind of getting into the Ozark mountain chain in the northwest part of Arkansas. So to start off the video, I'm going to talk about a well-known legend that is found here. So, Petit Jean refers to a person who came from France. And back in the days of conquest and exploring, back in the 16 and 1700s approximately, a man, or a young man by the name of Chevet, who was French, went on an expedition to look at the new countryside that no one has really seen, prior to settlement. But Chevet had a fiancée at the time who went by the name of Adrienne. And back then, of course, women were never really allowed to attend on boarding ships at the time. So, legend has it that Adrienne, because of her deep love for Chevet, she actually decided to disguise herself as a young man. Yeah. So, with that being said, with her disguise, they accepted her to go on the ship, and she did a really good job with her disguise, because not even Chevet recognized her as disguising as a young man. So they came all the way over here, going across the Atlantic Ocean, and eventually they were exploring this area. But then eventually Adrienne got sick, and forgot to mention, Petit, so since she disguised herself as a young man, they gave her the nickname of Petit Jean, which in other words means, I believe that meant, well, I'll actually help you guys. Yeah, so here it actually tells you a bit more about the legend. Yeah, Little John. And rest assured, I am not referring to the rapper by any means. By any means, no, not the rapper. So yeah, it was back in the 18th century. So since she was practically a cabin boy, she got the nickname of Petit Jean. And due to, since illness was more prone to happen, she got sick with fever. And then eventually her identity was discovered, and she deeply apologized to Chevet, and as part of her request, she wanted to be buried here because she just really enjoyed visiting this mountain that we are standing on. And so in honor of her, she actually requested to be buried here. So this is where she is at the moment. So essentially, this whole state park is in honor of her and the legend that took place back in the 18th century. So I'm just saying, mates, if you want to know true romance, that's it right there. That's an excellent example of what it means to be truly devoted. And, having a sense of adventure too. So, moving on. So, where we're at, it's the easternmost edge of Petit Jean Mountain. It's known as Stout's Point. This is simply because it's in honor of one Mr. Stout. I cannot remember his first name off the top of my head. Not only that, but you see a lot of the sandstone formation right here too. But it's it's mesmerizing. That's what I can say. And it, as you can see, it overlooks the Arkansas River. This is one of the largest rivers found in Arkansas. And you can just see that transition from, you know, being on a mountain, and then it transitions to a floodplain. But yeah, just look at this. You know, this is part of the countryside of Arkansas. So I've got to admit, I'm enjoying this state so far. But yeah, here it looks like another sign here. Okay, I guess it just talks about the Arkansas River and how it used to stretch and who all explored it. Fascinating. I'll take a picture of that so you guys can read more on it a little later on. But as you can see too, we can see on these sandstone rocks, or even here, we're seeing a lot of lichens. And that's a great sign. Because as I've mentioned, lichens always indicate air quality. So the more lichens you see in a given area, the better the air quality is. But unlike if you see less of it, well, that's a slight issue, because that may indicate that you have way more air pollutants going on. And here, actually, looks like it's talking about Petit Jean Mountain was actually part of the Trail of Tears. And as it turns out, Arkansas was one of those states where all 5 of the southeastern tribes were actually, well, unfortunately, forcefully removed. And yeah, so here's the path that was followed. So we're like around here approximately. So it was following Bell's route, I believe. Yeah. But I'm just saying, mates, this was real. This indeed happened in the past to our fellow Native Americans. So this is just something that can't be forgotten. But yeah, here are the few tribes. So Cherokee, Muskogee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole. So those are the 5. These are the 5 southeastern tribes that were all moved through here. And a lot of them are now in the Oklahoma area. But yeah, it's just remarkable, because this is what they saw when they were passing through here. You know, they actually got to see the base of the mountain. But yeah, this is an old mountain too. Difficult to say how old it is, but I'm sure at one point this mountain used to be much larger, you know, in terms of height. And, you know, of course, with weathering and erosion happening over time, eventually mountains, of course, get smaller. And, you know, the same thing really applies to the Appalachian Mountains too. I mean, you figure we're practically getting close to the heart. Oh, sorry. We're getting close to the heart of the United States. So the more central we get into the heartland, it's bound that the rocks are going to be a little older. So, alright mates, I hope you really enjoyed this video. This is neat. You know, I'm just astounded, mesmerized, you know. It's a new area, so that's how it always feels, right? So, highly recommended spot, by the way. It's a highly sought after state park in Arkansas. So, alright mates, hope all you enjoy your Thursday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.